Hello, two heads up here. Welcome to another just general PVM discussion. So let's dive right into it. As you may know, this game has been out for over 6 months now, and there's been a lot of changes in the prices of drops from monsters such as Calpha Queen and Dagnith Kings. Um, and there have been some surprising increases in a few items, or one item in particular. So let's talk about the drops first. So Dragon Chain obviously is probably the one that's taken the hardest hit, dropping from 13 mil down to 8 mil or even less. Maybe it's been rising a little bit to around 8.2 or 8.5. So this definitely makes killing the Calphite Queen, or God forbid camping Dust Devils, really unworth it. Especially if you're duoing or trioing the Calphite Queen, or God forbid even more. It's not worth doing her. Supplies cost too much to finally pay. When you finally do get a Dragon Chain drop, it'll barely pay for those supplies that you spent killing her all those 100, 200 times. Alright, so Calphite Queen's not worth doing anymore. Let's talk about Dagnith Kings, and this is a very sad thing for me. I'm so glad that I did Dagnith Kings so many times and had my fun camping them. I don't even know how many Dagnith Kings trips I've made in 07. Well, I'm at least 50 trips, and these include mainly trio trips, which are hard to set up, at least in my case. So it's a sad day for me to say Dagnith Kings really isn't that profitable anymore. It's a huge hassle to get together. It takes me about at least half an hour to get a group together, and we usually only average a mil profit a trip, and now with Dragon Axes being below 1 mil, I mean, you can't even get 400k a split off of a Dragon Axe, which is a very sad thing. At Dagnith Kings, when you're trioing especially, you and your teammates really rely on those axe drops. They're the most common, drop to get, the most likely drop to get. And, they used to be worthwhile going. You get one Dragon Axe, you at least break even and make a little bit of money. Maybe if you're maging. So you really only make a good amount of money at Dagnith Kings now if you get a Berserker Ring or Archer Ring drop, and that's literally it. There's no Dragon Axe. Mudstaff has crashed a long time ago. Mudstaff is worth around 1.2 mil now. It's just sad. So unfortunately, especially if you don't have Guthans, it is not worth doing Dagnith Kings, and there are a few other ways you can spend your time PVMing and make more money per hour. So let's talk about those. And the ones I recommend, the PVM I recommend now before God Wars Dungeon comes out. Nightmare Zone. I have made several videos hitting home on Nightmare Zone. It is a fantastic source of money and a fantastic source of experience. You don't need to pay for, once you get some absorb potions and some overloads, you don't even have to use prayer there. I mean, you don't even have to use prayer potions, so you literally don't spend anything, and you make pure profit, like 500k an hour if you're halfway decent at that game and have halfway decent levels and access to good bosses. Like Dream Mentor bosses are worth a ton. Demons are always worth a ton. Black demons, jungle demons are always worth a lot. Bosses like those. And of course, like I said in the other videos, buy pure essence. You're gonna, at least if you can't find a good seller, a good buyer for your pure essence, there's always someone buying for 70 each, always. So you're at least gonna make exactly what your points, whatever points you get. in Nightmare Zone that will at least convert into gold. So you can very easily track how much money you have made. And if you haven't used any potions or food, that's pure profit. That's what you're making. So, it's Nightmare Zone doesn't seem like it has a lot of players, so now it's the time to take advantage of it while you can still buy a lot of pure essence and sell it for a good price. And let's talk about another boss that might be worth doing for you if you're up for a little nostalgia, and that is King Black Dragon. DFSs and Visages are DFSs are 50 mil or around 50 mil or over 50 mil, and the Visages are just underneath that, 49 mil, 50 mil. And the King Black Dragon has the highest drop rate in old school. So if you duo the King Black Dragon, you can probably get around 15 kills a trip. If you trio it, you can get, over 20 kills a trip, and half of 50 mil is 25 mil each, and that's nothing to scoff at. And when you're looking at the best odds in RuneScape and a boss that is very cost effective to do, you really only have to bring sharks and anti-poisons if you want. You don't even have to bring prayer potions. It's a very cost effective boss. It's a very easy boss, and I'm sure it's halfway decent range experience. He's very weak to range. So that's another boss you can do before God Wars Dungeon comes out, and you're itching to do some PVM, but you actually want a decent chance of making money. But just keep in mind with King Black Dragon, the Visage drop is still incredibly rare. That's partly the reason why a Dragon Fire Shield is 50 mil, because a Visage is just so fucking rare. God. And finally, I'm going to talk about one more boss, Chaos Elemental. Now, if you've ever looked at the price of a Dragon 2H recently, it's been gradually rising and rising, and now it is nearly 2.5 mil. And that's pretty much almost what I sold for my first Dragon 2H when I got my first Dragon 2H off of Calphi Queen as a solo drop. If you recall in my first Calphi Queen video. 2.5 mil is nothing to scoff at, especially if you can solo, 2 to 4 Chaos Elementals a trip. I'm now up to 5 Chaos Elementals a trip. And, it's a decent drop rate, a Chaos Elemental. I think it's around 1 in 100. And it's easily a soloable boss. And it's really cost effective too. All you need is prayer potions and supersets. And then, you can use watermelons or potato sacks. I personally prefer watermelons, which are also very cheap and easy to get. So that's another boss you can do. You have a good chance of getting, 2.5 mil, bam, maybe more. Depends if it keeps rising. And it kind of looks that way. I can't tell you why the Dragon 2H is rising. Honestly can't. I don't see a use for it in God Wars. If you guys find a use for it in God Wars, let me know, because I'm all out of ideas. And so let's talk about Barrows now. Barrows is pretty much Barrows. It's always, decent money. The only downside about Barrows is blood runes are down in price, like 100 gold. They used to be, around 400 each, and now they're, barely 300 each. So that's where the majority of your money comes from Barrows. So it's unfortunate that runes have gone down, but Carols has gone up. I believe Aram's may have gone up a couple 100k. Darox has gone down from 4 mil to 3 mil. And what's it? Verax is still around 4 mil, I believe. Pretty stable. Guthans is around 9.8 mil. And Torag is, Torag is Torag. So it's still worth doing bears if you can do it fast. So, what do I recommend out of all these? You know, King Black Dragon, Chaos Elemental, Barrows, or oh, I forgot the other one. What did I say? Chaos Elemental, King Black Dragon, Barrows. Dang, I honestly forgot the other one. Oh well. We can also talk about Myth Dragons. Um, Dragon Full Helm is around 100 mil, but most likely, you know, your chances of getting one are slim. But your chances of getting a Visage are better. So, if you want to camp Mithril Dragons, by all means, go ahead. It's, as always, it's very supply intensive, ranging potions, prayer potions, lots of food, limited kills per trip, and you really depend on those Rune Battle Axe drops to help you break even, or at least make some kind of money. And you really won't make any money until you get a big drop with Mithril Dragons, that's the thing. So realistically, what do I recommend for making money right now? I recommend Chaos Elemental. And if you don't know how to do Chaos Elemental, learn how. I've made lots of videos on it, and that's what I'm going to be doing for PVM from now on, along with Nightmare Zone. So whenever I need some cash, you guys will either see me at Nightmare Zone or Chaos Elemental. So that's all I have to say about PVM before God Wars comes out. Thanks again for watching and taking the full, geez, almost 12 minutes listening to me ramble. I really hope this was informative for you guys. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.